part.
You know, actually, that's the same quote you told me at the Mosley press conference, the last one in Vegas. I was like, I'm sorry to bother you with the same old questions you probably heard 13 times already today, but I'm going to bother you with the same 13 questions you've heard today. Tell me about this fight, though. You know, Dawson's saying that he's younger, he's faster, he's stronger, but you can say that a lot about most of the guys that Hopkins fights nowadays, right?
The advantages always go to the youth. He is younger. He is faster. So now it comes down to the experience. He doesn't have the experience. And this is where most of the fighters are in that situation. And even with a guy like Dawson, if he employs a guy like Emmanuel Stewart, well, at least that separates him from some of these young guys. Their corner doesn't have the experience Bernard has. But even if you employ a guy like Emmanuel, okay, in the corner you may have the experience, but now in the center of the ring, my guy is still. So you fight a coach in the ring and a coach in the corner with me and Bernard. Where these other fighters, they have a coach in the corner and then a young fighter in the ring.
I saw that at the press conference you gave back the check. What foundation? Do you have any foundation that you're going to donate the money to?
Listen, it wasn't a spare the moment thing, but it's something that just came up in the last day. He was talking to me about how his management had taken so much money from him when he was a young fighter, and how he'd been mistreated and misled. A lot of money was taken from him. People were taking checks back from him, and Bernard Hopkins was really taking advantage of as a young fighter. And I just felt some kind of way about that, man. I wanted to let him know the team you have now, yes, we got to pay our bills, yes, we work for a fee, but it's not just about the money for us. When he gave me that check, I didn't even open it up. I put it in my pocket, I had it in my wallet all this time. And that's why I handed it back to him, unsealed, unopened. And then, and like I said, it was his to do what he wanted with it. He gave it back, and I appreciate it.
Talk to me about some of the you know, Chad is a southpaw. Hopkins has done well with southpaws. I remember during the build-up to Hopkins versus John David Jackson that John David Jackson said, "Look, I'm the guy that taught him how to fight southpaws." So he has a lot of experience with southpaws. Is Chad Dawson a different kind of southpaw though for Bernard Hopkins?
He's a southpaw. I wouldn't say it's a different kind of southpaw. He's tall, he's long, very similar to the way Tarver was. I don't think he's as big a puncher as Tarver was. You know what I mean? But he's tall, he's long, and he's. I said amongst the light heavyweight young guys, I think he's the most technically sound amongst the young light heavyweights. I said I still think Pascal's probably the most dangerous amongst the young heavyweights. You know what I mean? And this is why I say we have to apply our experience on this young man. Gary Shaw says, "I'm going to be on your behind from Bell One." Gary Shaw said that. Chad Dawson didn't come out and say that. Gary Shaw said, "I'm going to be on your ass from Bell One." That's what he said. But Gary Shaw didn't look to me to be in fight shape when I looked at the program. So it's going to be Chad out there fighting.
Do you feel that Chad is a little bit over his head? Why he's being more reserved in his speech? Or do you feel that just is his temperament?
No, that's his temperament. I know this as a kid. That's his temperament. They always wanted Chad to be a star. They want him to light up the camera, have great interviews. That's not Chad. Chad knows how to win 7 out of 12 rounds. Not 11 out of 12, not 12 out of 12. He wins 7 out of 12 rounds. Chad knows how to win, and that'll win champions for you. Chad's a champion. He's a real champion. I never say anything else. But like I said, Bernard was not only a great champion, but he's been one of the great personalities in the sport. Everybody can't be both of those.
Talk to me about, I know you handled another fighter, the aforementioned Sugar Shane Mosley. Have you had any communication with him? Anything about him boxing again?
Not about boxing. We talked about family and his vacation and all that. Like I say, Shane get around them kids of his, and Shane turned 12 years old. He flipping, doing handsprings, cartwheels, all kind of stuff, man. And it's a great thing because he got beautiful kids, and they need that energy, man. And it's a phenomenal thing. And I like to see him with them and spending the time. I think it's good for his spirit. I think it's good for his mind. I think it's good for the family.
I'm curious, because a lot of people have seen the professional side of Bernard Hopkins. Of course, he's head of Golden Boy Promotions East. He's been a great fighter for a long time. Talk to me a little bit about Bernard Hopkins, the person. Like, what is it like interacting with him on a day-to-day basis? The arguments, because everyone knows that Bernard's a very opinionated person. We know you know a lot about boxing, so you're not gonna lay down.
Man, in my early years with Bernard, I wouldn't even come back to camp until he called me because I assumed I was fired. Because we'd argue so much in camp. But I just realized he respects that. He don't want to see you back down, especially if you're confident you know what you're talking about. And he's confident, knows what he's talking about when he speaks on issue. So that's just the nature that he is. You know what I mean? Bernard's a man, and like I said, his boxing IQ is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? But he's great for the sport. You know what I mean? And I think the man, Bernard Hopkins, will be great for the sport also.